Hey, everybody, welcome back into another edition of the drbicuspid.com podcast. My name is Kevin Henry, editor-in-chief for drbicuspid.com. This is a continuation of a series that we are doing in conjunction with SprintRay, and I'm thrilled to welcome in Dr. Meena Barsoom. Dr. Barsoom, how are you today?
Hi, Kevin. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So many of our Dr. Bicuspid readers know you through your CDOCS videos that we have put in our newsletter from time to time in the past. But for those who don't know you, I'd love for our audience just to know a little bit more about you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Kevin. So, Dr. Meena Barsoum, I'm a practicing clinician here in Chicago, Illinois. I also serve as the global head of clinical strategy for SprintRay. I've been in that role for a little over a year. My background is in digital dentistry, technology, education. Obviously, my time at Spear Education and CDOCS, I spent over a decade there teaching and training clinicians on digital workflows. And I'm excited to share what we're doing at SprintRay and how we're moving the chairside dentistry world forward.
I'm excited to talk to you about that as well. And I know we've talked about same day dentistry, and so often we think about that in terms of CAD CAM, but we should be thinking of that in terms of 3D printing as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, chairside dentistry traditionally has been, crowns, inlays, onlays, manufacturing, buying a large milling machine, buying a large ecosystem. And, when you think about what more we can do with additive manufacturing in terms of not just restorations like inlays, onlays, veneers, but also same day retainers, same day night guards. We do same day removable prosthetics, dentures, full on fixed hybrids. Those are all printed in a much more efficient and practical way for.
When it comes to 3D printing, I know right now time is money more than ever when it comes to the dental practice. What kind of ROI do you see in terms of chairside 3D printing, and how can that be explained to dentists best?
Yeah, I mean, I think in dentistry, we're being squeezed in every direction. As a practice owner and a business owner, I'm looking at my overhead, I'm looking at my costs, I'm looking at my labor costs going up, my material costs going up, and my reimbursement staying flat or declining. So as a business owner, we're always looking for ways to maintain the health of the business, and investing in technology like this is actually one of the easiest ways to bring that in. I find my patients are more likely to accept treatment if I can offer it with a same day solution. So just the increase in case acceptance improves the health of the practice. But more importantly, when you think about costs, I can manufacture an inlay or onlay for under $10 in the practice because I've invested in, let's say, a Midas ecosystem. So you're spending, 15 grand on a piece of technology that's going to return much, much faster for you than, let's say, $150,000 piece of technology like a chairside milling solution. So for me, this is just the easiest way for somebody who doesn't have the expertise or the knowledge to dive into digital dentistry to not make a huge capital investment, but also get a very big return on investment right off the bat.
You mentioned Midas, and I want to make sure people understand what that is. Do you mind explaining, please?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, at SprintRay, we have essentially two printing platforms. We have our digital print, which is our traditional resin-based Pro 2 solution, which the way I describe it, it's meant for removable prosthetics, your night guards, retainers, models, partial dentures, etc., large format restorations. Midas is our restorative digital press. So Midas is designed specifically to print highly filled ceramic restorations and materials that can be used as definitive restorations, inlays, onlays, crowns, veneers. And the beauty of the Midas is it's a very small, compact piece of hardware, but it allows you to increase your throughput. So when I design multiple restorations, I can print all of them at the same time without any additional time penalty. Just yesterday, I delivered a 8-unit veneer case I did in a single visit, and I printed all 8 of those veneers on the Midas in one print, 3 capsules. So that's the beauty of additive manufacturing is you don't have to spend time milling and grinding down a block. You can actually press resin directly into the restoration. And that's what the Midas really brings us.
I know it's so competitive in today's environment, not only in terms of attracting patients to a practice, but keeping team members in a practice as well. Does keeping up with technology help with both those fronts, in your opinion?
Yeah, I almost lost 2 of my key team members in the last year because they felt like they weren't growing. And I was able to introduce new workflows into the practice, like 3D printing, 5-axis milling, different things that, help the practice grow. And I found that one of those team members, Sasha, became my digital technology specialist in the practice. So she runs our lab, and it's like a whole new excitement for her where she now goes in early, makes sure all the jobs are ready. She handles all the prints and all the production, organizes all the cases. She just texted me literally right before I jumped on this call, a picture of a full arch hybrid that we printed yesterday for a patient. She's like, this is just so beautiful. And she was characterizing, she's like, I can't believe we can do this. And those are the kinds of things that team members really want to engage in. A dental assistant, they get stuck in the world of, chairside sucking spit for the whole day. And this gives them a whole new avenue to expand into, different technologies.
I know some of our listeners may be hearing this and wondering what kind of learning curve there is. What did you experience with yourself as well as your team members?
Yeah, I will say spend my career educating. So learning curve is something I, truly focus on with any digital technologies. Is something that your, average clinician, average team member can really learn and bring in right off the bat, or is just going to take a heavy lift on the practice? And one of the things that I enjoy the most at SprintRay is how much effort we put into building workflows and solutions and leveraging AI into helping automate the workflow. For example, our internal AI, when you upload a file, will automatically determine what kind of restoration it is. Is it a night guard, a retainer, inlay, and onlay? And it will build an algorithm and parameters based on that restoration to nest it and get it ready for printing. So it truly is one-click printing, and you don't have to know a lot to be able to jump in and bring this on board. So our systems that we've built with the technology that we have just make it seamless for any practice to bring in without a major investment in time and education.
So as we wrap up, I just want to ask, is there anything about chairside 3D printing we didn't touch on that you think is important for our audience to know?
I think the biggest question we're always going to hear about chairside manufacturing, and from a restorative perspective, that's really the biggest question is, are the materials good enough? Can we rely on them to survive in the mouth? Is it something that, our patients are going to have in their mouth that's going to work and service them for a long time? And I think in dentistry, we've kind of gone down this rabbit hole of zirconia for everything. And I certainly love zirconia. I won't say anything negative about zirconia. It's something I use constantly. But zirconia, I think sometimes can be overprescribed. And I think a lot of us, prescribe zirconia out of convenience, cost, lack of knowledge of other materials. And I think when you start looking at these highly filled ceramic materials, like our new material coming out later this year called Restore, it's 70% ceramic filled. And when you handle that material, it feels like lithium disilicate. It feels like a really good, durable, high strength material. And so when we start thinking about the concept of partial coverage and additive dentistry, now you can start looking at, well, I don't have to prepare for a zirconia crown. I can do an inlay onlay, a crown lay. I can be much more conservative with my reduction. And I'm putting a material that is extremely biocompatible with the opposing dentition. So we're looking at materials that wear evenly with enamel. They're not abrasive. Like polished zirconia is really nice, but if it's unpolished or rough in any area, it'd be extremely abrasive, as we know. And these materials don't do that. So this is what I want clinicians to start thinking about is, certainly zirconia has a place. I think we could be a little bit more prescriptive in terms of when we use it versus when we use other glass ceramic-based materials like 3D printed materials.
Excellent points. And so if somebody wants to learn more about SprintRay, the Midas ecosystem, whatever that might be, how's a good way to do that?
I would say there's two main ways to do this. Obviously, on our website, SprintRay.com, we have an entire educational platform and ecosystem. We have monthly webinars that you can go in and watch, historical webinars that have been recorded, and also the upcoming webinars as well. But the best way to learn is hands-on. So we have an entire Midas Global World Tour that we've launched this year. And I believe we're in 70 different cities, international and US. So find the one that fits your schedule and is nearest to you and sign up and come spend a day with us. And you'll really learn this technology hands-on, which is, in my experience, my whole career, that's how I've educated dentists, is hands-on. I think this is where you'll learn the most.
Sounds great. We're going to have that link in the show notes, so it's really easy for you to find, as well as the links to the previous episodes that we have had in this series we're doing with SprintRay, all on 3D printing and all on the digital workflow in your practice and what you need to know moving forward. So, Dr. Barsoom, it's good to see you again, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. Good to see you too. Appreciate it.
Thanks to all of you who listened to this episode of the drbycuspid.com podcast. We'll be back soon with more that can help your practice grow and move forward in the future. Until then, take care, and we're wishing you nothing but success ahead.